Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of people talk about trying Assassin's Creed Shadows, the preview, and playing it themselves, and then talking to, Ubisoft and all that jazz, right? I watched a couple videos. A couple of them were really long. It went into a lot of detail. But we have an Assassin's Creed Shadows final preview. I almost said premiere. We're going to check this out, man. Let me switch to the camera real quick. Yeah, I was very critical about this game, and what I'm hearing now, I might buy this day one, because I'm hearing that it's amazing, and I've always said delay. Make sure you publish a finished game. Look what happened to Outlaws. Hopefully, this game is a masterpiece because
After
Ubisoft needs it.
Several hours finally playing Assassin's Creed Shadows after multiple delays, the next entry keeps up with the satisfying action and traversal that the series is known for, but it also showcases a sharper eye for world building and giving its two protagonists their time in the spotlight.
We got like a Fallout shelter. It looks more advanced than that, but still, I didn't even think that would be in the game. Have they had world building simulations, like building Forge mini games, I guess, in any other Assassin's Creed? I didn't know this was a thing. Is this new?
From my time sneaking through fortresses, taking in the
That's the biggest thing that they enhanced the sneaking. Outlaws, sneaking was pretty bad at the beginning, but now apparently it's amazing.
Sweeping vistas of the open world and pulling off slick combat finishers. I got to see just how developer Ubisoft Quebec has improved its balancing act of satisfying action, RPG systems, and rewarding open-ended exploration in a captivating new setting that's been long overdue.
Okay. Here we go. Now, to my knowledge, they did not play the open world base part of it. Maybe this guy did. I don't know.
Since Assassin's Creed Origins in 2017, the series has stayed comfortably within the realm of the open-world RPG, offering an expanded scope and narrative decisions to alter the course of the story.
The last Assassin's Creed I played was Valhalla, and it was good. I played God of War. That's when I first played God of War. Was about that time, and it kind of stole my attention away from it. Open world was interesting.
While this shift has led to some growing pains for the franchise, it has gotten a better handle on the additional layers to gameplay without compromising the fantasy of being an ancient assassin. With Shadows, the latest attempt at an Assassin's Creed RPG shows that Ubisoft may have also cracked the code on the role-playing element with its two unique protagonists, something the series has struggled to present in a way that hasn't muddied the narrative waters.
Yes,
okay.
It'll be quicker if I go.
Shadows sets its sights on a new mystery deep within a revamped Animus program. In this new simulation, we focus on feudal-era Japan and the secret history of both Yosuke, an historical African slave who became a full-fledged samurai.
Very controversial. I think this is the reason that, like, the fact that this character is even in the game is probably what stems from most of the controversy of this game. And then on top of that, it just not being, it didn't look finished. Cause a lot more speculation, and then also obviously the downfall trajectory, I would say, at least, of the games that have been coming out lately. Yeah, you put all that into one, and you got a huge whopping question mark of, is this the end of a company?
And Naue, a female shinobi taking up the mantle of her father's legacy. The pair eventually team up to navigate a radically changing 1500s Japan, rubbing shoulders with other historical allies such as Oda Nobunaga and Kuroda Kanbei, while taking down a shadowy cabal of warlords manipulating the country's attempt at unification from within.
It is possible you hold ulterior motives beyond reconstruction.
Damn. One of Kanbei's dogs. Kill them.
That dialogue sucks.
Spent most of my playtime exploring Harima
his line was good, but
one of the early
NPCs
zones that featured a quest line involving an insidious plot to undermine the region's power structure. The world of Assassin's Creed Shadows is massive, but thankfully not to the ridiculous size of Valhalla. That said, plenty of opportunities were packed in this province, and
also Valhalla, the traversal between the boats was like a huge part of it. It's probably why the map was so big. But I didn't finish the game, so.
Viewpoints to observe nearby points of interest helped steer me in the right direction. A general theme I found compelling was how Shadows emphasized harmonizing with the open world, a cultural element the developers wanted to highlight with the Japanese setting.
For all those we care about.
This theme also extends to the side activities and how the world changes over time with shifting seasons that alter the terrain. Shadows ditches the need for hunting, and instead, you can find and draw rare wildlife found in the wild. It was
and hopefully it's not necessary. I think hunting being necessary in a game is a recipe for disaster. Just look at the Horizon games. Red Dead 2, like, a lot of people love Red Dead 2. It's one of the greatest games, a lot of people say. It's also one of the probably fewest finished games ever made, because that game is like ridiculously long.
Odd activity at first, but I found them endearing and a relaxing change of pace. I soon found myself being taken in by how atmospheric and thoughtful the setting was.
That was worth the wait.
Shadows also emphasizes the dynamic between the two protagonists and their agency within the world after bonding over being outcasts within the country. I really enjoyed their dynamic within the story, and they play well with each other during cutscenes. Yasuke is a gentle giant and wise samurai enforcer who offers some poignant insights while learning about Japanese culture.
The reigns will continue in a different form. Another battle, same war.
Naoe's growth into an assassin with a heavy legacy to uphold shows an early look at the dramatic highs of the main story. You're free to switch off characters in the open world and during moments in the main story, letting you play as who you want in most key missions.
This part is huge. With the controversy that has been spiraling out of control, and obviously there's going to be people that are going to boycott this game just because he's in the game to begin with, which I don't think is a fair take. You need to be able to at least play it or understand what the game is before you actually boycott something, right? Look what happened with fucking Hogwarts Legacy, for instance. Stupidest boycott of all time. Nevertheless, yeah, I heard that you don't even need to play as him at all, except for the tutorial. So you could play as her, which she plays more like a typical assassin, right? And he's more of the, tank of the story, which isn't really the vibe that I've ever had with Assassin's Creed. It's Assassin's Creed. It's not Warriors Creed, you know what I mean? But it gives you that option to play that way if you want to. And then also the replayability is nice to have.
You're right. Let's do it.
But in an interesting addition, you also have the option of playing in canon mode, which presents a defined story without major narrative choices.
That's cool.
Which was added after developers saw how many fans were debating what the definitive story was for Valhalla and Odyssey.
That's smart. That is so smart.
So it is you.
Yasuke and Naoe also represent the different extremes of Assassin's Creed's combat and stealth experiences, which have also seen clear upgrades across the board in Shadows.
Yeah, make sure you mention that. Stealth is probably a high priority.
There's a heightened need for dodging and parrying strikes, crucial to piercing through armor to deliver a killing blow.
That's how I played an Elden Ring right there.
It injects Ghost of Tsushima's offensive and defensive style of swordplay, but it also has familiar AC combat skills such as power grabs and the always funny kick move I used plenty of times.
Sparta kick. So satisfying.
I generally felt pleased with the more thoughtful approach to combat. However, it also comes with more challenges, which really unexpectedly made some of the encounters in the game feel a bit more difficult. Shadows also struggled to present fights with multiple foes accurately, and it can be easy to get overwhelmed by enemies coming in off-screen. Still,
I feel like that would be easier to do with him, the tank guy. Maybe you have a way to, you know, oh, I died here, let me pick him instead and try it. I don't know if that's... I'm trying to think, is that a skill issue or a game issue? Like, get good, or the game needs to be... I don't know.
When the new combat in Shadows hits, it certainly does hit.
I'm sure when these, like, situations pop up, the cannon mode is going to have him as the tank taking out those guys. That would just make more sense. Just, you know, just muscle through the big, numbered villains, you know? Amount of villains.
What impressed me most was the revamped stealth gameplay, which appropriately incorporates elements from Ubisoft's other stealth action series, Splinter Cell.
That should be all of them.
With the new visibility meter, you can see how open you are.
I need to slow down, identify my target.
Interesting.
Furthermore, there's a greater emphasis on light and darkness. You can even snuff out candles to add some cover. My favorite addition is the ability to go prone, which, as you can expect, is a game changer for stealth.
So like a microwave dinner right there.
Was so satisfying, and it does well to showcase just how much that gameplay style has improved. While both characters can combat and stealth, they also have clear limitations. For instance, Yasuke is a formidable fighter and is capable of ambushing enemies. However, his large stature is not ideal for advanced stealth.
No, he's a big boy. He is good for human kebab stuff. Apparently.
In addition to being incapable of climbing certain areas, he's also not great at performing the leap of faith.
It's harder than it looks.
As for Naue, she's a skilled assassin with access to a grappling hook and smoke bombs. However, her nimble combat style is far more reliant on parrying and dodging, and one hit from an elite enemy's heavy strike can take a chunk of her health bar. While pulling off Naue's combat skills was satisfying, I often had to resist the urge to take out every enemy and run for it when things got out of hand.
Alright. Minecraft time.
Continuing with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can manage and upgrade a base of operations.
Oh, so it's like Fallout.
As you recruit allies, they'll head to your hideout to open up shops and offer new side missions that incentivize revisits to previous zones.
Yeah.
But Shadows takes this feature a step further by allowing you to build out your custom village in the vein of Animal Crossing.
Yay!
The Town Builder mode offers plenty of options to add necessities and some personal touches to the hideout. I spent an unexpected amount of time building more housing and decorating my space with Shinto shrines and pets, such as cats and tanuki. There are also side activities, such as a visually striking meditation minigame to help you earn additional perks. It's an unexpectedly cozy side activity for an AC game, and I was quickly taken in by how satisfying it was to walk around a massive village I had made in a reasonably short time.
This is icing on the cake. This does not matter.
So far, Assassin's Creed Shadows is shaping up to be a solid follow-up to Ubisoft's ambitious Valhalla. Even if the familiar crop of open-world bugs and quirks...
They delayed for a reason. So this is all old footage, right?
Popped up.
Obviously, like I'm pretty sure like everyone that's talked about it said they were under NDA. They weren't allowed to talk. They weren't allowed to record anything. They're allowed to talk about it, but not record and show new footage of the new build, which apparently was a build from November. So that is the original build that they were going to release. So the new build that they're going to release should be even better. So I don't know.
During my time, I still found a great...
I heard there was like no glitches at all in it, except for maybe like a little bit on like a sword detail, like mid slash, just a tiny little bit on like the edge or something like that. But they said it was fucking running so smoothly. And now, to be fair, they were playing I don't want to say a vertical slice of the game, but a contained portion that was, you know,
deal to appreciate with Shadows and its world building. While this conceit is not an uncommon backdrop for video games,
it's like the Invisible Man,
which can be easy to mess up with insensitive representation, Assassin's Creed Shadows so far does well to justify its take on an open-world RPG set during this culturally rich era, especially in its handling of the two protagonists. With the release finally coming soon, I'm eager to see how Ubisoft's take on Assassin's Creed's journey to Japan will come together.
Ooh.
For more on the latest upcoming games during this busy opening of 2025, check out our final preview of Civilization 7. And of course, for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
Yeah. They'll probably not give this game a 7. Probably give it a 9. Did this sell me on playing the game? Let's cut to the chase before we go to the comment section and look at what everybody's saying. Did this sell me on the game? Not really. No, IGN's video did not sell me on the game. Now, other people's videos that are much longer, much more in detail, not able to react to on this channel, unfortunately, because I don't want to do a 2-hour reaction to Assassin's Creed. But and if you don't know who I'm talking about, there's a couple creators, but I think Stefan did one of the best jobs. Go check that video out. Go check out the IGN video. Go give it a like. It is a good video. I do not think it sold me on the game, but I do want to play this day one, and I'm very optimistic about it. And I don't know. I frankly think this. There's so many good games coming out, man. Comment down below how you're feeling about this game. There's just been so much negative hype. I do think that we're going to have a huge bounce back. I think they've seen what happened to Concord, what happened to Outlaws, what happened to Dragon Age, Veilguard. And obviously those aren't all their games, but still, like, there's a pattern in the industry right now. Delaying until your game is ready to be released is always the best option to do. You want to, strike gold when you can. When the iron's hot, not when the iron is just put on the stove. Like, let's be real, they were cooking, but the meal's not done. They still need to add seasoning. They're not eating at like I'm not even gonna say that joke. There's enough racial tension surrounding this game, which is absurd. I get why there is, because the culture and everything like that, but I do think at the end of the day, fuck the noise. If the game's good, the game's good. If you enjoy the game, who gives a fuck what people think, right? So this is one of those games I need to play day one. I'm gonna stream this game for sure, and it's coming out in a perfect time where there's not much competition. There still is competition for sure, but not as much as there would have been in February. Come on now, Monster Hunter is just cooking right now, and we're about to react to another video about Monster Hunter. I'm excited to see more information about that game. I can't wait. But yeah, that's my overall reaction to this. Let's go to the comment section real quick, because usually they're kind of funny, and this will be interesting to see with this specifically. And also, Ubisoft needs a gym, right? They need a gym. People have been saying Tencent's gonna buy them for the last 6 months. They need to strike gold. Like, even if they do sell, they want to make money off the company. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they will, though. If this game's a banger, I think this could save their legacy for sure. The biggest issue, and it's a small thing that could so easily be fixed, but has remained an issue since Origins, is the lack of any facial expression from the NPCs when talking. So from other videos that have talked about this specifically, and it's funny because I actually kind of criticized this in the video that I saw, the voice line that NPC delivered, like, it wasn't a terrible voice line, it wasn't terrible writing, but it was the delivery plus the writing plus the animation. It just didn't mesh with me. It wasn't buyable, and that was the only line that struck out to me. It's interesting that I caught that right away. But any facial expressions from the NPC when talking, they all, protagonists included, much of the time look like they barely care about what they are saying. This also, I think, is a problem when you have a open world game, because the dialogue options are so vast. There's so many other things that they're paying attention to. Facial expression with NPCs is not one of them, and unfortunately, That's what makes the open world feel alive. You know, it's not just having big buildings and cliffs and all this shit around you. It's the people the community of the fucking the NPCs. Like, they gotta be realistic looking, or else, you know, they're obviously NPCs already, and then it's just gonna be like, ugh, you know what I mean? It's weird that it took until 2025 for Assassin's Creed to let go of let us go prone. Yeah, I do think that is a nice addition. It is cool that they are sneaking through the rafters like it's Die Hard, which, if you don't know, I watched that movie every night going to sleep from, like, I think it was like 3rd grade to 9th grade or something like that. I fucking love that movie, and the fact that they're going prone in the rafters, I love it. IGN will give it a 7 out of 10. No, usually the games have a lot of controversy behind them. Like, for instance, Dark... Oh, God. Veilguard, they got like a 9 out of 10? Or like a 9.5 out of 10? Almost perfect. And everyone hates that game. It's notorious for being a shitty game. So, haven't met one stan for Veilguard yet on this channel. I'm sure they're out there. I've seen a couple on Twitter, but yeah, it's like finding a shiny Rayquaza. They're pretty rare. At 236 massive, but thankfully not to the ridiculous size of AC Valhalla. That felt welcoming, lol. Yeah, for sure. Open world games are everywhere nowadays. It's been a trend since Skyrim, pretty much. Maybe, yeah. And so there's so many of them, and they take a lot of time, and traversal can be a pain in the ass, and it's so much for someone to wrap their head around. And a lot of people like the perfect the games to get every single, you know, achievement or whatever. So yeah, it is welcoming that it's smaller, and then at the end of the day, you can always make DLC. If the game's really good, make DLC. Like, I don't see why people don't make DLC anymore. Like, Elden Ring did it, and they almost won Game of the Year with it. Like, come on now. Finally, might be the part of the 1% that still really wants to see this game. They showed the same head chopping animation like 6 times. Yeah, that was a little weird. Especially, I just reacted to Doom, and the amount of variations with the finishing moves are crazy with that game. So maybe it's the contrast between that, but he really likes to chop off heads, or maybe the video editor just likes those shots a lot. I don't know. But yeah, it's got some gore in it for sure. The last finishing move was sick, where she had like the sickles and she was just I was like, damn, it looked like Drax from from a Marvel movie or something. Yeah, man, I'm blown away by this, because the last thing I thought when I was gonna get on the computer today was to be very optimistic about this game coming out. Wow. Things can change very quickly. But yeah, I'm curious on what you feel, how you feel. Are you still cautious? Were you cautious to begin with? Or were you set in stone that this game was going to be a banger? This subject can be up in the air 100%. So yeah, let me know what you feeling, and hit that sub button to join the eethur. I love the eethur. Thank you for watching the eethur. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free and it helps push it out to more people like me and you. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.